Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahushai, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahushai, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim, Chakudash, double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, true well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Sadakim, that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. I'm the priest Shaman. This week's topic is going to be entitled, a response to brothers that struggle with women, right? This was a lesson that was sent in the chat. And it was a lesson that the brother in DC did, and he pretty much went into the hypergamous nature of women, right? And how through extrapolation that Bathsheba pretty much in the spirit knew exactly what she was doing. She was plotting on King David. There's a reason why she didn't cry out rape. All right, there's a reason she went out at that time, and there was a reason she was ready to have the king's baby and pin it on Uriah. So, and you know, I'm gonna put a link to the brother's lesson in this video here, and he's right. If you understand women, you'll get the lesson. And there's certain things for brothers that do understand women, you could extrapolate certain things out the scriptures, right? And women are indeed hypergamous. See, a woman sees a man for two things: either to provide, because he mentioned the fact that it's security and power. Power has been quantified into three things, you know, like looks, money, status, if you will. But it really comes down to survival, right? So they're going to either look at you as for beta provisioning or an alpha seeder, meaning they're going to look at a man. Can he provide for me? This mostly happens a lot when they get older. Or can he give forth good offsprings? And that comes in the form of how attractive a woman might perceive you. You know, do you have good traits? Are you tall, dark, and handsome, if you will, right? And I would say I'm a brother that understands women because I have a lot of experience with women. You know, there's certain things that this whole red pill shit is talking about that I've been doing way before I even knew about it. Like when I commit to a relationship, I tell a woman, look, you're gonna have to share me sexually, and they're okay with it. These sorts of things. Now I want to land back off this lesson and use another form of hypergamy that's in the scriptures with women, because this thing is not new, and brothers, you cannot get frustrated about it. You know, there's guys on these dating apps right now, you see what these women say. They could be short, oh, I need a man that's tall. They could be tall, oh, I need a man that's tall. See, the problem was feminism is now giving women the choice to pick a man. They don't need a man by necessity. They have the choice to pick a man. And when they pick a man, they pick a certain archetype. You know, it's not like us where we will date. We don't mind dating down. We don't mind dating fat, skinny, short. But women don't really do that. You know, if they do date a man that is out of their archetype, it's for some sort of provisional need. And you'll find out that there's a reason why a woman will be with a millionaire but not letting him really fuck like that, than a guy that's not making any money. You know, he will nut up in her raw. You know, and again, you brothers out there that do know that if you experience this, you'll know what this is talking about. If you've been with a woman that's been around guys that's millionaires, and she letting you hit in your mom's basement, then wait a minute, you see the guys that they kind of talking to or talked to in the past out of shape, you know. And I'm speaking from experience, you know. Now these brothers will know I don't commit adultery. There's times I've turned down women in the gym. They've seen it, man. You know, when we was at sports club, this chick was squatting, wearing a tight ass leggings with a fat ass, calling me over to tell me how it works, and I put it to the side. Brothers know the story, man. You know, and I've been in situations like that, kicking women out of my house once I found out, even though they was well provided for, right? And it is because a woman might see you can't provide for me, but if we had sex and you came in me, you would provide good offsprings. Now I'm going to give you an account in the Bible that deals with just the exact same thing I'm talking about. He gave a situation where a woman, Bathsheba, was assigned a man with a higher status. I'm going to give you a situation where a woman had somebody with status, but she wanted an alpha seeder. That alpha seeder being Joseph. Now this is the book of Genesis 39:5. It says, and it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he did eat, And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. Now, through extrapolation, I told brothers, Joseph had to have been a handsome individual because women are hypergamous by nature. Why would this woman be willing to risk a marriage with a king, which has ultimate status and wealth, to sleep with Joseph? Because she must have found Joseph attractive. Now, that's what I said through the spirit. Just knowing women hypergamous nature, and from my past experience dealing with women that try to play men that were really very successful. I remember from past experience kicking chicks out of my house when I found out they had a man, and this particular man was buying this chick multiple cars, all that stuff. I've been there, and I could relate. Like, it makes sense to me, right? Now I want to show you something. You can read that same verse in the NIV, and I'm going to read the same verse in the T4T, and we're going to see something, right? This is verse 6 now. You can read it in the NIV on yourself, but I'm going to read it in the T4T. It says, Potiphar, or the Pharaoh, allowed Joseph to take care of everything that he owned. Potiphar needed to decide only about the food he ate. He was not concerned about anything else in the house. Joseph was a well-built / muscular and handsome. It said Joseph was well-built, muscular, and handsome. And you could go to different versions of that verse 6, and that's pretty much how it describes Joseph, right? Because knowing the nature of woman, if you know the nature of woman, they cheat up. A woman cheats up. They don't cheat down. Most men cheat down. You have your wifey, you fuck off on some chick that is less attractive than your woman. Most men cheat down. Some men also cheat up, but so-called cheat. But if she's cheating up, and if you're a man that has experience and understand these women, Joseph wasn't a king, and he wasn't richer than Pharaoh. He must have been far more attractive than Pharaoh. It says, verse 7, it says, and it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, lie with me. She was willing to risk everything. She casted her eyes upon Joseph. In other words, Joseph was like a right swipe. The dating apps, I'm swiping right. She saw him and she was smitten by the man. Now, I never looked at verse 6 and see what other interpretations put that he was built and muscular and handsome. But through experience and extrapolation, I always said that through the spirit. I always talk to brothers off. Sometimes we have drinks and kick back and we talk about situations. Look, we're gonna always be talking about women. That's how, from beginning to that's a conversation that's understanding female nature is a huge topic amongst men of wisdom, right? And experience. And I'm telling you, through the spirit, that's what I said. I said, yo, this brother must have been handsome, because if you've been in that situation and you dealt with women, that they either looking for you to, and you hear it when you have sex with them. Hear what they say. Some woman will tell you, take it off, come inside. I know that's graphic, but why are they saying that? Because biologically they wired and saying, look, man, this guy, he has traits. He's well built, he's tall, he could give me good babies. And a lot of times that's what they'll do, but they'll realize that, wait a minute, this guy is tall, he's well built, but he can't provide for me. So that's when they'll take both options. Ideally, the ideal man for a woman, the most ideal man is a man that have all these factors. He has good traits, she's attractive, and he can provide. That's what most women want, biologically from a survival standpoint, but it's very hard to be that particular man. So what they'll do is they'll have both. And what you do not want to be is a man that's just seeing straight for provision. And because more than likely, and again, this is just the harsh reality of things, she will cheat on you. She will try to find that man that do have the good traits. And it's a fucked up situation. You can be frustrated, but we cannot change female nature. In this society, they have all the liberty to do that. Now, verse 8 says, but he refused and said unto his master's wife, behold, my master wotteth not what is with me in the house, and he hath committed all that he hath to my hand. Now, you brothers out there, again, the topic is, for brothers that struggle with women and certain brothers that understand women, if you've been in this situation, you already know what it is, man. You know, if you've been in a situation where, yo, I've been in situations prior to the world where my homies, girls, will hit me up, DM me on whatever social media platform at the time. You know, even in the truth, they tried that, which I didn't do anything like that. But hindsight now, with the understanding of the truth, you see it. You see it. You see why they'll do it. They'll say, look, man, this guy is tall. He could give me some good babies, especially if you're in the gym and stuff like that. But he can't provide. I'm gonna have his baby and have another nigga take care of me. Women are that wicked, and they constantly thinking of ways to survive, even if it's sinful. You know, it's hardwired in them. You know, so I think I wanted to land back off this brother's lesson to let you know that, look, man, it's always been that way throughout the scriptures. And yes, if your brother's struggling now, you might not have any of these qualities. You will get your time in the kingdom. We're gonna have all the factors to attract these women, so much to the point that we're gonna be rejecting them. You know, and the kids, you're gonna have them. You know, when you have women in abundance and you get a lot of pussy, for lack of a better term, and you start to ignore them, guess what? They even gravitate to you more. So for the brothers that are struggling now, just know that in the kingdom, you have a flood of that going on. So that was my little land back. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashim Ruach HaKodash, the blessings of the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone and True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Zadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Shalom.